last video I started to talk about Oprah. I was talking about what was happening in Chicago. How we ignore race on race. If it's the same race, it's okay. If it's a cop defending his own life against an African American that's shooting him, the cops are always bad, even if they are African American. Oprah. I want to get into Oprah a little bit. I got into her last night, but that live stream that I've put on unlisted now. But I've got a little bit more about Oprah. Why did she come out now? Why did she feel it was okay to come out now? I find this extremely interesting. Why she popped out of the woodwork now. Remember, she came out and everybody wanted her to be president. She would definitely win. And then we found out about Harvey Weinstein and how many starlets he raped, and said, if you don't let me rape you, I will blacklist you in Hollywood. I will ruin your name. You'll never work anywhere again. And she would serve up starlets to him. So Oprah started to get a bad reputation. And when Oprah started, she didn't have the best reputation either. She was a go-getter. And the point I'm making about Oprah is she's an opportunist. But she is also a part of the leaders of the Black community in Chicago, because she came out of Chicago just like Jesse Jackson, and just like Farrakhan, and just like Obama. And Farrakhan didn't attend Reverend Wright's church, but Oprah and Obama and Michelle Obama and their children did. And we found out that Reverend Wright was an anti-Semite and hated America and hated white people. No, 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 don't. God bless America, God damn America. And Obama was about to lose his chance of being president. Now, Oprah sat in those pews for 25 years, and so did Obama. And the only way he got out of it was distancing himself from Reverend Wright. He got on TV, he was getting an award from the NAACP, and he was making fun of white music and opera and how great Black music is. He was just making fun of. And my acting teacher at the time, who actually didn't teach me anything about acting, he was interested in me, so he didn't teach me anything about acting. We saw this performance by Reverend Wright, and we looked at each other, and he was sure that Obama was out of the race. That was so bad, and that was so racist against white people, that was the end of Obama. And he was a Hillary supporter. And of course, when Hillary was out of the race, he was 100% Obama. He's a Democrat, so they forget everything. And they're just, even though all the reasons why they didn't want to vote for Obama, nope, gotta vote for the Democrat. That's it. Democrat, 100% good. Oprah decided, it came to a time when the spotlight was shown on her that she was going to this church. So she said, you know what, I'm backing away, I'm leaving that church. And then she said, okay, after 25 years, I realized it wasn't good. It wasn't good for me to stay. Oh, you just realized this about him. Like, you didn't hear that every day, which is not the picture that every white housewife in America got of Oprah. Because that's where she made her money, off of white housewives. She is a great opportunist, comes out of Chicago, becomes the wealthiest African-American woman in the world, from a country that's so racist that people die trying to get here. Heavily melanated people from all over the world die trying to get here, no matter how racist we are. And we have more, or might even be the only country, that has innumerable, we can't even count how many African Americans that have, yes, came here as slaves, but became millionaires, and with Oprah, billionaires. And the man who started BET, was Robert Johnson, I believe. He is a billionaire. Brilliant. Ben Carson is not a billionaire, but he's brilliant, and his brother is literally a rocket scientist. Black on both sides, not biracial, but 100% African American. This country is so bad that we tuned into Oprah, listened to everything she said, bought everything she told us to buy, made her so popular that she owns her own network. And there isn't anybody in the world who doesn't know Oprah. Like, we know her by her first name, like Cher and Elvis and Madonna. We know her by her first name. She probably has more money than all of them put together, by the way. She started her television shows by doing tabloid TV. That's where the money was. Gossip television, tabloids used to sell them, but they still kind of sell them. They're not as bad as they used to be, at the checkout counter. And there were several other shows that started up tabloid television. People would get fights on TV. And since she was the first, it was pretty bad. Her show was pretty bad. It was cheesy. It was just what she did was she realized that the money wasn't there anymore, and it was getting a bad reputation. She was getting a bad reputation. This bad reputation, she's going to lose money. So what did she do? She changed over to this new agey kind of, we'll have a book club, I'll get all my viewers to buy your book. And of course she's getting a cut. And she made tons of money on all these crazy new age books. And it was inspirational and more intelligent. It seemed intelligent, but it's all new agey stuff. So she kind of retired. And they pulled her out of retirement saying, you're the only one who could win against Trump. And then the Me Too movement hit. And we found out about her and slimy Harvey Weinstein and just how bad he was. And that she was basically pimping young white actresses out. Maybe some African American, I don't know, but the pictures I saw were white. To big fat Harvey Weinstein. So he can do disgusting things to them. That's disgusting. Now, all of a sudden, Me Too is forgotten about. We don't have a Me Too. It went bye-bye. It went bye-bye when Biden's former employee had already made a formal report about what he did to her in his office. I'm sorry, that would have been in one take, but my camera or my cell phone ran out of room. So Tara Reid credibly accused Joe Biden and wrote up a report and told people that she knew when it happened many years ago. Of course, his campaign stated that it absolutely did not happen, but eight other women have accused him of this, as well as Secret Service agents, female Secret Service agents, said that he would swim by them on purpose, naked. He did a lot of things, and we saw on camera him doing a lot of things to mostly little girls. That was really creepy, but also to older women. But as soon as Tara Reid accused Biden in public, Me Too went away. Me Too and bye-bye. And since Me Too and bye-bye, then Oprah had an opening. She could work her way back. There was no more Me Too movement. You see, the thing about the public is that they forget. Give them time, and no matter how heinous the crime, they forget. Maybe not some crimes, but they do forget. And then people have a comeback. And what did they go away for? Well, we don't quite know, but we like what they do. They're good at what they do. So she made her comeback, and see how we forgot about how she served up very young, naive starlets to this man that would poke and prod their bodies and humiliate them and then destroy them if they didn't go along with it. So she sees that the country is on fire and the Democrats have brought back racism. Democrat governors have put their states on lockdown, basically jailed the people of their state because of COVID. Never done this before. Even though we've had serious diseases, we've never done this before. So the country was pent up and ready for this, ready for that spark to ignite the gasoline and set off the whole country. And what better way to do it than to bring back racism? That's what the party of the KKK knows what to do best. Bring back, because you had to. Because Trump did too much good. He was doing too much good for the African American and minority community. Unemployment was at near zero. This is what they needed for intact families. This is what they needed. They had a future. They didn't have to join gangs. They didn't have to be on drugs. They could have respect and feel proud of themselves. So they had to destroy the economy and bring back racism. And there's Oprah coming in, knowing that it's okay to do this. She, the wealthiest African American woman in the world, and it could only happen in a country like this that has more millionaires, African American millionaires, who are descendants of slaves, are now millionaires and billionaires in this country. Only country in the world that could happen, and that did happen. And Africa still has slavery since the dawn of time, but nevertheless, you can do this. You have been given license to do this and make white people feel awful. And this is her way to promote another book called Caste. Caste is what they have, or they're letting go of it now a bit in India. Caste system, where people, if you were the upper caste Brahmins, you learned how to be priests and you learned how to read the Vedas. They didn't have schools, a school system where they could teach everybody this. So each person learned the trade of their father and grandfather. And that's the caste you remained at, and you couldn't marry somebody outside that caste. But she says, this is what we have in America. But that's what Jim Crow South did. That's what the party of the KKK did after we abolished slavery, fought the Civil War. 700,000 people died in it. Jim Crow put people in castes. You're white or you're not white. You're mixed race or you're all black, but you can't marry each other, just like the caste system. But that's the Democrat Party that Oprah Winfrey belongs to. And how hypocritical of her to even belong to that party. That's the party of the caste system. That's the party that should be nullified. She shouldn't be talking to poor white people, especially we have poor white people in Appalachia that nobody talks about. Some of them are mixed, but because they're predominantly white, there's no Appalachian Lives Matter. Nobody cares. They don't live long. A lot of them die before they reach 50. They're lucky if they get into their 60s. Their teeth are rotted out when they're children because the water is so undrinkable that they drink Mountain Dew and their teeth rot out. Nobody is out there trying to help them. There is no t-shirt, there is no fund. Hollywood could care less. A lot of these people are mixed race. Some of them do have some African American in them. Some of them do have Native American in them, but nobody cares and nobody's trying to help them. So there are white people who are actually the lowest, right at the bottom, and very bad medical care. Nobody's giving them good medical care. Nobody cares because they're predominantly white. So she can do this. And she's the one who came out of Chicago, came out of the Church of Reverend Wright, the church who's the anti-Semite, who hates America and hates white people. And she came out of Chicago, the same Chicago that Elvis sang about in 1969. Basically, it was about black on black crime, though it could have been a police officer killing the young man in that song. We don't know who killed him. The point is that they're dying in Chicago. There's massacres every weekend, and that's the point. Did Oprah do anything? No, she's making white people feel awful. The same white people that put her in the position that she's in, that voted Obama in twice as president by a white majority, that gave her all the money she has, is predominantly poor white people. She sold them whatever she wanted to sell them, and they bought it. And now she's telling them that they're above even her because of their whiteness. Her, Oprah, the goddess. How could they be above her when she's got billions of dollars and is set to make billions more? How cruel can she be? She used these poor people, and now she's just took their money, and now she's destroying them. And she didn't do a damn thing like Obama, like Jesse Jackson, like Farrakhan. None of them did anything to stop the killings in Chicago that go on to this day. And none of them have done anything to stop the killings in Chicago. Like that 9-year-old boy, Janari Riggs, who was killed at close range by an adult person of the same race, pointing a gun straight at his chest. There was no hope for him, and what do you think a 9-year-old boy could have done? So wrong to die that way. No, Oprah, these people are not dying in Chicago because white people exist, because poor white people exist, because poor white people who put you where you were because they made you famous, and they bought your books, and they bought anything that you sold, and they thought you were good, till we found out about Harvey Weinstein. And then we forgot, because the Democrat Party said, well, Me Too is over with, because they're coming after our nominee. So Me Too has gone bye-bye. So you can crawl back out of your shell, Oprah. And since everyone's hating on white people, why don't you just push another book called Caste? You know, the caste system in India is basically being destroyed. You know why? Capitalism was injected into India, and people are getting educations. And when they get an education and they make money, because they make money, they move up in the caste. The Brahmins, even though they're not Brahmins, see them as equal. Where people were eating no meals a day or 1 meal a day, now we're eating 2 or 3 meals a day because of capitalism. Because capitalism, free enterprise, like in America here, destroys the caste system. So it can't exist in a country where all men are created equal. We have a right to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Our rights are given to us by God, not man, and cannot be taken away. That's the reason why when America was founded, they said slavery has to be removed. It was the British that brought slavery. But the Southerners, the Democrats of the South, didn't want to get rid of slavery. They said, look, we give you 20 years to get rid of slavery. And then they had to fight a civil war where 700,000 people died. People, even if they didn't die, they had their limbs cut off, sawed off. No Novocaine, no anesthesia, just some strong drink to abolish slavery. They fought a war that we today could never fight. And they fought it for noble reasons, to free and enslave people, because we could not go on, because our founding documents were not Marxist or communist or fascist. Our founding documents said, we all have a right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, that all of us are created equal, and our rights are given to us by God, and cannot be taken away by man, by a dictator, if we were a socialist, communist, Marxist, fascist country. Learn history, Oprah, and have a come to Jesus moment. Will you? Thank you. Good night, everyone.